that curling is a team sport, that we're able to travel the world with friends and family and experience the journey with fans as well. The sport demands so much, whether it's fine motor skills or both physically and mentally taxing. And it's just a fun social sport that you're able to kind of make an extended family all over the world.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
Sylvie Daniel. Sylvie, I believe, was named the MVP of this event last year. This Quebec team was runner-up last year, trying to fix that and move one step higher on the podium. One of the favorites coming in and off to a hot start. They do have a 5-person team. in talking with their fifth player, Joelle Sabarin, who I've known for years, they said Chantal has been battling a couple of injuries here and there, so they've kind of been rotating this year, and Joelle's been able to play all positions on this team. So great to have that asset with the team. So come around there by Sylvie, didn't quite curl enough, so that will allow Julie to chase this one, try and hit and roll buried. So they hit and rolled, but rolled too far. Perfect center guard to start the game by Julie, and a good hit and roll. Went after it, just rolled a little bit too far, and that will allow Sylvie to hit and stay. Sylvie's got a great curling story. She went to her first national championship before she had played 20 games in her whole life. Went to the mixed, was asked by Chantal after only playing a couple of games to come into the regionals or zone regional playdowns for the mixed, and they went on to win Quebec. Well, that's a pretty cool story. Sylvie, it's usually a lot harder to get to your first national championship. Familiar name here, well, maybe just not just for me, but for curling fans over the years. Turcotte, Kristen Turcotte, 1990 Scott Tournament of Hearts champion, playing third for Allison Goring. I remember watching that team, and Allison, one of the great minds in curling, always admired her strategy, not just her shot making, but the strategy. I remember Richie saying later in her ladies' career, she used to win just by outsmarting the other teams. A little Ed Wernick-like. So hit and roll out gives Quebec a chance to come around, and I think a lot of teams would peel that center guard, but I like Chantal saying, no, let's get out here, let's make a good come around. As this one's sliding past her feet, she may regret her decision, but it's Marie-Josée throwing that one a little bit too far. So opportunity flips over to Kristen Turcotte and Team Ontario. See if they can make good on this come around. Talked to the players last night, ran into some this morning on the way to breakfast, and everybody's raving about the facility and the ice so far. Every shot is makeable. And it's very rare that you're confused as to what's happened out there. You get what you deserve, which is all you can ask for. Here's a good come around. Good shot there by Kristen. They're going to chase this one. This one's pretty buried, but if they chip the guard, that would be an acceptable result here. Chantal, one of her biggest influences in curling is actually Dave Merklinger, who coached her she grew up in the Ottawa, her curling life grew up in the Ottawa area, and Dave was from there, and now he moved to Vernon. He's the ice maker here, and Chantal was joking, here's a good shot, good chase. Will it stick around? Not quite, but a good shot nonetheless. And she said, talk about coming full circle. My old curling coach is the part of the host committee and the ice maker at the club this year where the Canadian Seniors is. It would be kind of poetic. Obviously, I'm unbiased as to who wins this week, but it would be fairly poetic if that was Team Quebec coming back from silver medal last year and winning in her coach's new curling club. So Carrie Lackey, throwing third for Ontario. Looks like she's a little bit strong here. I never want to see the sweepers walking with their broom kind of in the holster. That continues to be the miss that we see on the draws. Very few are missed light. The ice is fast, 15 and a half seconds. Switching gears now. Maybe we will peel this one off. Josée with the out-turn peel. Chantal going to try and play for the blank. That one's going back, though. I'm not sure if this is going to catch a piece. She's okay. So gave the offense a try. Didn't work out. Kind of got away with it. Made a good chase and then caught a big break. And say, maybe we should just peel this guard and see if we can get the blank and go to the next end with the hammer. I highly doubt she's doing that because it's an odd end versus an even end. But in the first end, I think, just trying to get their feet under them. I would suggest that a win here for Quebec would definitely get them into the next round. But you do bring your, contrary to that Brent Lang's commentary yesterday, you do bring your record with you. It's not like the Canadian Club Championship. I'm not exactly sure why, but it's completely different. You've got the same number of teams. Everything's kind of the same until you get to the format. Same two pools. But this one, you qualify. The top 4 from each pool qualify for the playoffs. And they go and they play crossover to the other pool, and the top 4 teams in the other pool, bringing their record with them. So these teams, to get to the playoffs, are going to play 10 games. That's a long and grueling week. And then from there, so qualifying for the next round is important, but you do bring your record. So every win is very important. Just sneaking into the next round probably isn't going to be good news for those teams. Like sneaking in at 3-3, I don't know that 3 losses will get you through to the final 4. 4 do qualify for 2 semifinals to a final, and the 2 losers of the semifinal will go to a bronze medal game. So to win this thing, you gotta, I don't know exactly how many games you do have to win. If you won 12 in a row, you'd win. I know that. But you're going to have to play 12 games in just over 6 days. So I think it is 6 days, maybe 7. So basically a full Scotties, full Brier format is exactly what we've got here. I might just start a Twitter thread and see what people think of the latest Brier and Scotties format. So Susan Froud, skip of Team Ontario. Nice way to start the game, a free draw. She did throw one of the draws to the button before the game, but it's always nice to get into the game action and have a look at draw weight, get a feel for it. Always loved it when my skip got to throw a draw early. But that's a huge unforced error. And now it's the old 2-on-1 situation for Chantal. She's got 2 shots to Ontario's 1. The guard's up there. She could peel and go for the blank, but I think most players will play this come around now. It's an unforced error from Susan. She won't be very happy with that. If anything there, you want to be heavy. I don't think anybody's going to play the freeze in the first end if you're behind the tee line. Even if you threw that through, you're going to get out of here with a blank. Now, a pretty good chance for a skips deuce for Quebec. Chantal talks about one of the highlights of her curling career was winning the Welton Beauchamp, which is a legendary World Curling Tour Spiel in Ottawa in 1998. I was there. We were playing that year. This obviously is heavy. They haven't touched it. Do not want it just behind the tee. I want to take this probably all the way back. So didn't really cash in on the opportunity. Susan, let Susan off the hook. Susan just going to probably play a freeze, I would think, and force Chantal to throw the same draw. For those of you who don't know, the Welton was a massive spiel. I may have made it bigger in my mind, but I think it used to be a 64-teamer on the men's. They had ladies, they had everything. I think they might even have had senior men's and ladies going on. It was at a whole bunch of different clubs. It was the best party on tour. We used to have, I think was it Toonie drinks? Might even have been Looney drinks on a Thursday night. It was legendary. So a chance for Susan to redeem herself here and get what she would want in the first end, a force, but the swim seems to be running like it's hot. Needs to curl and slow down. Still really needs to curl. So her weight was very good, but didn't get the line. So trading missed opportunities here. And now a chance for Team Quebec to open up with a score of 2. Chantal can get to the nose or even a little bit inside. Expecting some messages here from Quebec superfan Louis Biron, but nothing yet. Louis, where are you at? Are you a part-time fan this year? Oh, she got this one wide. I don't think this is going to come close to curling enough. And a shaky start from both sides that results in a steal of 1 for Ontario. Bit of a Houdini act there. And we've got a 1-0 lead, Team Ontario. We'll be back after a short break for the second end action.
At every OK Tire store, you'll find a local owner who lives in your community, proudly offering full auto service. And when you shop with us, you're shopping local. OK Tire. Service, repair, and tires. It's going to be okay.
I love that curling is a team sport, that we're able to travel the world with friends and family and experience the journey with fans as well. The sport demands so much, whether it's fine motor skills or both physically and mentally taxing. And it's just a fun social sport that you're able to kind of make an extended family all over the world.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
We're back at the Everest Senior Curling Championships. A rocky start for both teams in some ways. Missed opportunities back and forth traded by both skips, and results in a steal of 1 and a 1-0 lead for Ontario. So both these teams are very experienced. I don't imagine it's nerves related, maybe just learning the ice, but regardless, here we are with 1-0 Ontario lead. So first rock of the end. That's over curled by quite a bit. Wanted that on the center line. I don't imagine that Julie will be super excited if that's where that one ended up. Speed is good, but so Quebec's just going to play the straight come around here. Lead Sylvie Daniel. Line looks very good. This looks like a good shot if the speed is right. Well managed, well swept. A good shot. You can see the big finish on the ice here. And so that, even though that guard is in the free guard zone, because it's an Ontario stone, this can be taken out. Even if the run back isn't successful, it can be peeled off and doesn't need to go back. Julian being asked to hit this one right on the nose, make the run back, kill the Quebec stone. Could end up with line one buried here. Not going to curl enough for that though, so they want to roll it right off. Didn't get that either. So good start for Quebec. Going to guard that one. I like this call. It's too early to split the rings and hold it for the whole end. So, and even if this guard isn't made perfectly, as long as it's a good corner guard, it's a good opportunity for a multiple score here for Quebec. Sliding a little bit too far. Not too bad. That's a little tighter than they'd probably want it, but guard does the trick. So now Susan cannot hit that guard. You know, your instinct is let's play the run back, but not enough rocks have been thrown. So asking Kristen Turcotte to play the come around instead. Really the only option here. I guess you could throw a center guard, but then Quebec's going to draw around that, and you're going to be chasing two buried. Line looks really good. If the speed is right, this is a really good shot. Even if it's behind the tee line, not a big deal. Just want something in there that's kind of going to at least temporarily eliminate shot rock, which that does the trick. You see Quebec follow that down, and both teams going to be required to make some precision draws here, which I know everybody loves the long drive, loves the big bombs, loves the run back and the doubles, and those are extremely important in curling. But generally the way to get control of a game is to outdraw your opponent. So we'll see who can really dial it in here with draw weight and match that weight with the line. This one's really curling, going for line here, I think. I think this one's going to wreck on... Oh, it just feathers the guard and ends up in a pretty good spot. It's probably a double, but does it come back on the yellow? Probably not. Should go past that back yellow, but making this shot's just going to open up the freeze, but I don't know what else you do. Can't leave that there. That's too dangerous. Need to throw some speed here to make this spin out of the house too. This one is not very close. Not Kristen's best throw there. Just got it started towards the target. Every player has a bit of our favorite spots to throw the rock on the sheet, and then you have some places that maybe historically have struggled a bit. I would hope that if you do have spots you struggle, that's, you know, maybe spend a little extra time practicing that so it becomes turn your weaknesses into strengths, as they say. So trying to bump this one back would be really nice, to bump it straight back frozen. Even if they split it up, which seems like that's probably what they're going to do. It's not a bad result. Lying two maybe. But you can see the problem for Ontario is how do you hit shot rock? Yeah, and not jam it on the back, and having three blue ones in there. No longer is this going to be a draw shot in. Man, they make me look bad a lot on these broadcasts, but curling switches on one shot very quickly and very dramatically. This one's going to curl up to the nose, I think. For carry. You can roll away. Stays for third shot. Very important. Intel can probably, just nose this. Will Ontario eventually take on that chase of shot rock and roll behind the blue? I mean, there's not much margin. There's only an inch or two margin for error. If you ever jammed it, it would be a complete disaster. You'd be bringing a four-ender into play for Quebec, assuming they hit and stay here, which hasn't been made yet. Oh, she really got that one going. This one's going to curl the entire way. Definitely not going to stay. Might not even hit this one. Don't want to chip it over to yours. And the friendly play continues, the back and forth. That's a pretty substantial miss. So kind of I guess you could play the angle double here. And lie two, but this is not very makeable, I shouldn't say that. It's makeable, but this is a very difficult shot. And they have to decide here. You know, did Kristen throw hers poorly? Is that why it curled so much when they played the chase and crossed the guard? I don't imagine it fooled them that much on the curl, so I think it was you know, operator error was a big part of it on the throw, but how much? Because we gotta make this shot. So that looked like a pretty good throw. Not a lot of back though. I don't think that'll ever run too straight. This one's curling too. Will it get by? Might feather. Oh, what? And that is curling, ladies and gentlemen. Millimeter from pretty much perfection. Instead, closer to complete disaster. Bumps it back, almost frozen on the back one. Leaves the other blue in the house. Didn't remove any blues. So Jose here with a chance to right a wrong and gotta make sure she throws this one better. That looked a lot better. Still sweeping it for line, but I think this one's gonna be okay. Just stay anywhere that's better than that back 8 one. Needs to sit. Very good. So what do you do if you're Ontario? You're fortunate that your 4th shot. You can't really hit and lie 2 here, even if you are 2nd shot. So you got to hit and roll in somewhere. It's not easy to hit and roll in on, as you're looking at your screen, the right blue one on the overhead, the left blue one as we look at it from the hack end, because if you roll towards the middle and you miss by a little bit, you may jam it on the back one, and again, not take out anything and bring in a big, potential big end. I think Ontario would be more than happy to give up 2 here. If Quebec wanted to broker a deal here that says, okay, let's just move to the next end, we'll take our deuce, Ontario would jump at that opportunity. I think it's still fairly likely to give up 3 here. Susan's gonna have to make 2 good hit and rolls. The nose here won't do it. She has to roll in to get 2nd or 3rd shot, or shot even. Trying to get this one to curl. She's definitely rolling towards the middle. How far though? Too far is the answer. So if you're Quebec, you could hit shot rock into 2nd shot rock. I don't know who is 2nd shot though. I think it's very important. I think you want to lie 3 here. The fact that she's bumping that suggests that she's not 2nd. If you're feeling really frisky, you'd freeze on shot rock, line it up on the back one, and if you made that, you just kind of say, okay, Susan, your turn. I'd love to see what you're going to do with that. See, I'm not sure who is 2nd shot here. It kind of looks like blue was. But if that was the case, I'm not sure why they would be playing this tap. So I think yellow's 2nd. But if yellow's 2nd, I'm also not sure why they're not playing down to the back one here. Bumping it out and lying 3. Susan would have to make a double to give them an open hit for 2. Could make a great shot here. You could split this, tap it to the back yellow, roll your shooter in, lie 3 that way, and really leave no doubles. Gotta get the speed right here. Need T-line weight. That way, even if it doesn't get the line, you're still drawing in lie 2. This is close. They like it. Did they leave it too long, though? That's a very good shot. No question who's lying 2 now. Susan's going to have to make a double here. The other option is the straight pick on shot rock, but if you kill your back one as well, your shooter rolls out of the 8 foot, it'll be an open hit for 3, so no easy answer here for Ontario. Good setup if you're Quebec or a Quebec fan. Are they looking at the freeze here? They are. Aggressive. not very many places where you can put this freeze where you're going to hold them to 1. Doesn't feel comfortable with the double. It's not like that double's an easy shot either, but it's very makeable to at least make it and roll. You know, one of them goes outside of the back yellow there, and then it's just a draw for 2. There are a lot of places where you can put this where you're going to give them a shot for 3, including very close to perfect. So let's see if Susan's up for it. If she dead freezes it, it's good, but anything else is trouble. So a lot of risk here, and I don't think there's big reward for making it, so I don't like the risk here. Looks like they're close, though. They're interested. A little bit heavy. Can they accidentally chip it out? No. So a difficult shot, but a shot for 3 for Quebec. Very simple for 2, anywhere on the high side. Probably want to throw, you can throw any weight you like here, because just a millimeter high makes it. Anything, if your shooter really stays in the 8-foot, you're going to get 2, whether it rolls low or high. So a very simple 2. Bit of a tricky 3, but very makeable. So let's see what Chantal has here. So she's throwing a little bit of weight, not taking a ton of ice. Really got to go here. This one's curling early. Got to go to get 2 here. Does get the deuce. 2 for Quebec in the second end, and we got a 2-1 lead for Team Quebec over Team Ontario at the Everest Senior Curling Championships. We'll be right back after a short break for more of the action.
Curling means so much to our family. Obviously, it's a big part of our life. Isabella always says that she wants to be an Olympic champion curler when she grows up, which just melts my heart. But it also has shown them that if you work hard, anything is possible. If I was to ask them if they wanted to chase a dream, they believe that anything is possible as long as they put the work in, and it's because of watching us on the ice.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
Welcome back to the Vernon Curling Club. Live action from the Everest Senior Curling Championships, presented by Everest Funeral Concierge, the title sponsor, and savior is not the right word because the event was going on, but the visionary behind these incredible events, both the Canadian Club Championship and the Everest Senior Curling Championship, and now the North American Club Championships, where those 2 winning teams, New Brunswick and Alberta, from last week in Winnipeg, will be going somewhere south of the border in September to put the Maple Leaf on their back and see if they can win the North American Club Championship in a made-for-TV event that I promise you will be nothing short of spectacular and likely something you've never seen before in curling. That seems to be what Mark Duffy, CEO, and Randy Furby from Everest, that's how they roll, as they say. We're going to play a little bit more of an open end here. Can't hold the shooter, so we'll see if Chantal wants to force the issue. Susan looks like she's comfortable keeping it open, but no, Chantal's going to do that as well. Okay, let's do that. And with the 5-rock rule, maybe Susan's plan was to hit and roll to the wing. They know Quebec can't leave it in the rings. They're going to hit it, and then you can throw a corner guard, and nothing will be in the 4-foot when you do that. Do see that sometimes. At the highest levels, it's pretty rare to see the team without the hammer throw it in the rings in a tight game, because the other team will do just that. Hit and roll to the wing, you got to hit, and then they throw a corner, and you're, well, that didn't pan out. Not a great situation. So we ended up with a guard here by accident, but it's not on the center line, so it can be chipped, can't be removed. But Susan's going to ask Julie here to play the come around. Let me get this one buried, full 8 foot. And put a little pressure on Quebec. That's the name of the game in curling. Put pressure on the opponent. This one's sliding too far. Stay just on the tee line, but that's a couple feet too far. Good effort, a good shot. I'm going to force Sylvie, sorry, my bad, Marie-Josée to follow her down. Is possible to get a little bit more curl than Ontario did and freeze low side, centerline side, and get shot rock. But anything in front of it is going to be in a good spot for Quebec. Got this one on a really good line. This is going to get shot rock if it's heavy enough. If it gets by, oh, it just rubs. Had that one made, just needed to call the sweep a little bit earlier. That's where the communication on a team is so important. The skip needs to know if that's a couple of feet heavy, because if it is, it's not going to take that curl the same way, or if it's light, it's going to take it earlier. So I think Susan just called the straight draw here. That doesn't look good from the hack. Sometimes hard to convince yourself, okay, just ignore everything and let's get this on line with the right weight and things will work out. A little faith involved in our game. This one is hanging. I'm going to tap this to frozen almost. The reason it hung there is exactly what I was saying. It was just, it's too hard. It's too much weight. Not a bad situation though. Yeah, this is, we're going to try and make the double. Marie-Josée right on the nose. Cannot over curl here. It will jam. It could jam on the back blue. That would be not good. This one needs to curl. They're sweeping it a little bit conservative. Still needs to curl. So a good throw and very close. Just needed to curl that extra, another half an inch, and makes that double. Unfortunate leaves it not only behind theirs top 12, but also in front of theirs back 8. That yellow one, if you were even shooting right now, it's a difficult one to remove. So Kristen now out turn come around. Needs to take some speed off the last one she threw. That was a bit too heavy. Want this to be probably top, bite the top 4 foot. A piece buried. Doesn't have to be fully buried. A piece buried would be nice though. Don't want to leave the hit and roll. Looks pretty good. Really good. Kind of went actually to an unfortunate spot. This run back, you can make the run back double now, and there's 2 rocks to hit, so you probably, there is a hole. I hate to say it out loud. Like I said, I don't have a horse in the race, so there is a run back double here, and it's just a hole. So I'm gonna hit this about 2/3 on the high side, the outside. If it does overcurl and you run it straight back, you're still gonna get a good result. This is gonna do that. It needs to stay straight to not jam it, and you can see why that was if that rock was in such a tricky spot. So that's a good throw, close to being great, but instead it's not great. And Ontario in full control here. See if Carey can get this one in a good spot. The other option is you draw open side here. Grouping your rocks behind blue ones, and you worked out that time. There's no more jams. I want this one to be right on top of shot rock, lined up straight, squarely on the nose. Even a little bit across so that a run back double, this shooter here would squirt sideways into that wide blue one, never leave town. This has got some curling to do though. You're sweeping this one back. That's not what you want to hear. Oh. So, yeah, you'd like to freeze. It's on the button, but it's wide open. And then if they nosed it, you'd be in big trouble. So I like this call. You'll say just saw this. Just needs to hit this a hair higher. Stick in there. Make the run double potentially. This is close. This is very close. Oh, just needed to curl, nothing more. Two good throws, a decent result getting rid of one of theirs, but it would have been really nice to stick it somewhere in there so that it's something Ontario has to deal with. Instead, they get another free draw that she just threw, and same throw with kind of 2 or 3 feet less weight. You want to bite the 4 foot, kind of just buried, mostly buried, to cover the back one a little bit. And Quebec is Quebec's in real trouble here. They don't love the weight though. Again, I don't like it when my sweepers are walking beside my rock. Tells me I threw it too hard. It's coming across though. The line was perfect again. Pretty good shot. There is a double. Would have to come with some speed. The back button one's gone. The top one goes straight over into that other yellow and kills that one, and then probably stays right there. The other option is you come down and just kind of bump those around, but that's too early for that kind of nonsense, I think, Brent. You want to hit this as pretty much as thick and as hard as you can, because you can only see about half of it. That would be ideal how much you'd want to hit. Maybe even a third with peel weight. If you don't throw this hard enough, it'll lose all its energy when it hits that first one and just kind of roll over towards the other one. Switching the call here. I'm gonna play the freeze. Freeze, it'll get your third shot. Probably Ontario will have to guard. So basically you want to freeze this one where you were trying to hit it when you called the hit, so that anything on your next one, it gets easier. Tricky shot though. If you could bump it, it would be great if you got the line, but this has got some curling to do. If it's heavy, they're going to chap off. Just a bit too heavy there. Made the situation better because opened up a freeze bump in there that would be easier. But I'm going to guess Ontario's going to take that away and beat them in there. So you want this one, you want a live 4. I would pretty much where they're tapping. You come right in there, and then you might set up a triple, even a quadruple. I'm not sure Chantal will be able to throw it hard enough, but if you put this kind of just wide open top 4 foot, there would be a quadruple takeout available right on the nose. All the yellows would be moving, so you want to bury a little bit. So big opportunity here for Ontario. Not to state the obvious, but no real good spot for this. You can't be light here. If this is a guard, you could put yourself in trouble. It would actually be better to be a little bit heavy and bump those around a little bit, but can't really bounce off for a pocket. So this is one where you're just going to have to make this one if you want the reward. This one's running like it's hot. If this is behind the tee line, this is a huge, huge problem. Oh no. Needs to stop. Okay. Not good, but all three of them are on the button, so they can't just freeze there. They wouldn't. They'd still leave Ontario lying 3. But there is a double and roll kind of frozen. I think this one you want to play soft. The key is not making the double here. The key is getting your shooter to roll. You got to get relatively close to the center guard. But if you can get your shooter to roll center line side, even a couple of inches, it's going to stay right on the corner of that yellow one on the side button. Even if you don't kill any yellows and you just move them back to the back 4, back 8, you're going to have a really good chance of holding Ontario to 1. I don't think you'd get shot, but you might. So the key is the shooter. Uh-oh. This is going to be on the front badly. Trying to curl it to make the run back into the side one. I think they have done it. That is unbelievably lucky. Let's be honest here. Sometimes when you miss it so bad, it actually ends up good. Ended up holding them to 3, and I mean hitting the guard there. They were going to draw for 5. I think my memory serves. So that's a magical result from not Chantal's best throw. She'd be the first to tell you that. But in any event, Ontario drawing a piece of the 8-foot here to take a 3-ender and to take a 2-point lead into the 4th end. So exactly the same shot Susan just threw with backing. I can't really see how she misses this one. Sweepers are saying we got lots of weight. Unless it's really hard, that should get to the one on the button and be totally fine. Unless she's thrown hack. Yep, there it is, no problem. 3 points on the board for Team Ontario and Susan Froud. And it'll be 4-2 for Ontario playing the 4th end when we come back right after this. Back at it here from the Vernon Curling Club. We've got the Everest Senior Curling Championships going on here, folks, all week long. If you're in the area, heck, if you're anywhere within 5 or 6 hours, drive on down, check out the action. We're going to crown 2 Canadian champions this week, which if you're a curling fan, nothing is cooler than watching somebody chase a dream like that. every curler's dream to put the maple leaf on their back, and that's exactly what the two winning teams will be able to do here this week. One men's and one ladies team will get to represent Canada at the World Senior Curling Championships in Östersund, Sweden in April. I believe that's operated alongside the mixed doubles, because that's where the mixed doubles World Championship is as well. It's also where Team John Morris, 1999 World Junior Champions, which Johnny dragged me along on that team, and so I've got great memories. It's a great little city and an incredible country. I think it's going April, which is better. It's pretty far north. It'd be pretty dark right now. So pretty standard start here. The elites have played well so far. Got Julie McMullen throwing in there, biting the 8-foot. Probably wanted that biting the 4-foot, but pretty good. And now probably going to throw the center guard. Just guard that up. Nice tight one. If it slides in, it slides in. Nothing too high here. And Sylvie Daniel throwing a nice corner guard there. Quebec wanting to get multiple points here. Trying to get this back to tied. So then audible here. They're going around it. Heavier than they expected. And they do get it by. And it stops right on the button, basically. So that's a good setup. Doesn't matter how it got there. It's there. It's so good that I don't think you can ignore it. You know, sometimes you go straight around the corner guard, but then you're going to force Ontario to guard one that's behind one top 12 that's on the button. Don't really want to force your opponent into doing that. Got this one curling. Seen a lot of over curls from both teams on hits today. This one's not going to make any noise. Just feathers it, unfortunately. Sylvie got that one inside of the intended target line. Chantel knew it right away. So now they're going to guard it. No question about it. Ontario second, Kristen Turcotte. This one is much too tight. I'm going to spread that one out. You wanted that one kind of right beside the blue corner guard. I mean, that's where I wanted it. I don't know where they wanted it, but because I'm alone commentating, that makes me right. Nobody gets to tell me I'm wrong. Unless you want to send me a message on Twitter, which you're welcome to do. I'm a big boy. I can take it. So another chance here to open up the middle. Roll your shooter behind the guard. Probably kill two yellows in the middle. Let's see if Marie-Josée can make this one. This one's floating back, I think. They're sweeping it for line. I'm not sure why. This is close. Gonna make two of the back two yellows, I think. Leave hers in a great spot. Still got the corner guard, and now Quebec's got action. So Susan Froud, you can see what's the plan here. She's not sure exactly what to do with that. If Quebec were going to shoot now, they'd play that little short raise and roll behind the corner guard. You could almost get two behind the corner guard. One wouldn't be in the rings, but not sure what I like here. This is fine. Keep the pressure on. So Kristen Turcotte, I played against Kristen's husband, Bob Turcotte, a curling legend, most certainly in the Ontario circles, but all around the world. 2000 or 2010 World Junior or Senior Champion. I'm fumbling and mumbling here. He's definitely a World Senior Champ. Sorry, Bob, if you're listening. But while he was winning World Senior Championships, he was making serious runs at representing Ontario at the Brier. One of the fiercest competitors that played against. Super nice off the ice. Very intense on the ice. I can admire that. I can get behind that. Bob must have won the seniors in 2000. We're going with that. That was right when we were coming out of juniors. That's when we were playing them at the Tankard. So not exactly what they wanted. Kristen over curled there with good weight. So this is starting to set up pretty nicely for Quebec. If they could make this double, stay behind cover. Looks like they've done it. Oh, watch your feet. Good fancy footwork there, Sylvie. That is not always that easy to do. And you can see stays dead buried. Still got that corner guard that's going to come into play if they make this double. So Carrie needs to pick her team up here. And hit about 2/3 of this. Probably want to roll your shooter right out. If your shooter stays, the one in the house might stay. So I'm going to have to audible this one. It's not going to make it on the high side. At least it's now their color. So next time they do that, it will be a yellow one coming in. Not easy. They'd love to get one behind that corner guard, but Chantel's trying to figure out how. They got to go way out in the weeds. Other option is you could throw it to the wing here. They're going to probably still play that middle one, and then you could go around the middle if they ever staggered it, if they didn't hit it perfect. This is the best result. Just got to be sure that you know how to get it there. Oftentimes, especially in curling clubs, it's quite a bit slower out wider where you haven't been yet. The frost kind of creeps in. So we'll see if Jose and not just Jose, but Jose, Marie-Jose, and Sylvie, if they can figure it out together here in terms of the speed to throw it and the sweeping. This is going to curl plenty. It's going to actually needs to stop curling. If it's back 12, it might be behind that other blue and set up the run double. This is sliding though. Just through the back, I believe. Unforced error there, but it's in a spot. If it's still biting the back line, they have to be a little bit careful with this short run back. If they hit it a little bit on the overcurl side, it would be very lucky to dead nut the back one, but if they did, it would be in the rings, and it would also be shot rock. Maybe. Probably not. This is not going to do what I said, though. No danger of this one overcurling. Ooh, she might not even make contact here. Oh. Trading opportunities again. Curling is a friendly sport, but today Quebec and Ontario are very, very friendly back and forth so far. Now there's a path behind that corner guard. Because she threw it on her first one, though, I don't hate the same shot. Even if you did go all the way to the back one and froze on it, that wouldn't be bad. This one, I think if you do get through the hole here clean and don't touch your blue, and you're probably going to overcurl. You're definitely going to overcurl if that's the case. They did talk about splitting it, though, so maybe I missed it. Just going here for weight. Got the line perfect. Yeah, that's a great shot. So Quebec line 2, Susan Froud and Carrie Lackey lining up the double. Not much choice. I mean, could nose this one. And then what would Quebec do? They'd probably go to the open side, and then you could slash this one in behind the corner and hope to stick it for shot. Or they might go around it, and then you'd have a short run back to get shot rock, but well played end by Quebec, rather, and a couple of small errors by Ontario. Leading to a good chance for two. If Susan makes this double, she will lose her shooter, and then Chantal will have the chance to throw that same come around. This is close. I think they need to be sweeping this. I think they've missed it. Just missed the sweep call. A fantastic throw from Susan. Had it kind of made. It's one of those where it's, you know, not hard to hit it too thin. I hate to say that, but that was one where the miss was always going to be the over curl. All aggression from Chantal. She's going around again, which is great if you make it. If you go behind the tee line here, you're not going to be happy because Susan's going to get a chance to freeze, and they are calling past that one. Personally, if you're going to draw here, I like it freezing on the top blue one. Shot rock. Because if you go past it, you're going to force Susan to play a freeze that if she makes it, she's going to take your end away. But it is going to be extremely difficult, and I say all the time, it's about putting pressure on your opponent, so we got to the right shot. I think this is a good call. Just really don't want to be behind the tee line. If you're behind the tee line, you want to be back 12. Yep. Just like saying, look, ladies, if we're heavy, come to the back. It's going to over curl the back, though. So you can't sweep it for the back. It just needs to be back 12. If this stops back 12, it's a pretty good shot. We got to go. Can't let her freeze for shot rock. Really got to go. So 2 buried. Pressure shot for Susan Froud, but if it's made, it's going to force Quebec to draw for 1. If you wanted to guarantee the deuce there, you would have drawn the open side, but nothing wrong with the call. And like I said, the big pressure on Susan here. Needs to get this one ideally right back onto the blue one, back 8. Anywhere in front of it will be shot and really hard to, once you bury an inch of it behind the one top 8, it's going to be hard to remove. But just to be sure, you want to freeze right on it. You saw how much that one curled, like we're over buried behind one top 8 foot. Jumping on it right away. If they like it, I think line's fine. I don't ever see it not curling enough in this spot. Got to get it back there. This is a little bit light. Gonna leave a pretty close to good. How do they get that out for 3? I don't think they can. Yeah, they can, just really softly. So 2 options. No matter how thin you hit it, it's never going to hit that blue one. If you hit it thin enough to hit the top blue one, well, it wasn't leaving the 8 foot anyway because you barely touched it. So there's a hack waiter here for 3. You want to hit half a rock, roll to the broom side. The miss here is to hit a quarter rock, though. So you're going to... That's tight ice. She must be throwing this fairly hard. Maybe she's just playing the pick. There's definitely a shot for 3. Nothing wrong with throwing a little harder and just making it for 2. But really kind of 2/3 or down to a quarter with hack weight, you'd get 3 points. Let's see how hard she's throwing this. Super easy sitting behind the glass. That's going to curl. This is big trouble. Can't say whoa. Definitely not whoa. Did she get it by the other way? Oh my God, what a shot. I didn't even see that being possible. I learned something every day, folks. But that's a big 3-ender for Team Quebec. And they take the lead right back. So a great first 4 ends. Lots of back and forth action. We'll be back for the second half of this game after a short 4th end break.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
At every OK Tire store, you'll find a local owner who lives in your community, proudly offering full auto service. And when you shop with us, you're shopping local. OK Tire. Service, repair, and tires. It's going to be okay.
Welcome back, folks. I'm Brent Lang, bringing you live action from the Vernon Curling Club in the Everest Funeral Concierge Senior Curling Championships. We're going to crown 2 national champions this week, and these 2 teams both have aspirations, I can promise you, of being the last ladies team standing come the end of the week. And we've seen some great shot making. We've seen some uncharacteristic misses. We've seen momentum swing after momentum swing. And here we are halfway through the game, 5-4, high scoring affair so far. Quebec with the slight edge over Team Ontario and Susan Froud. So it will be interesting to see as the pressure mounts as we get down to it here, who rises to the occasion and how that works. Looks like they're having trouble with the time clocks. I think both of them say they've got full time left, which obviously is not the case. Each team gets 30 minutes to start the game. It is thinking time, which means your clock only runs while you're thinking or talking or getting ready to shoot. Once you start shooting, your clock stops and the other team start. There is a slight delay while you clear the sheet. This was developed by the Grand Slam of curling. The thought being that we used to see teams play an end just hitting to save time. We still can see that sometimes, but it's less likely. It used to penalize the team. Our clocks used to run all the time we were shooting or thinking. So if you threw a 25-second draw versus a 10-second hit, there's 15 seconds more coming off your clock. You're punishing the aggressive teams, the teams who like to draw. We didn't want to do that. We like rocks and play. It looks like both teams have the exact same amount of time left. That's unlikely and strange, but here we go. It's been a bit of an unlikely game so far, so the trend continues. Sylvie Danielle, lead for Team Quebec and longtime partner of Skip Chantal Osborne. Has had a lot of success at this tournament, including runner-up last year. She's been retired since 2017, 30 years of service with the government. And Chantal was the one who introduced Sylvie to curling, been the most influential person in her curling life. Yeah, they've been together for 36 years and married for the past 12. I can speak from experience. It's pretty cool to have some success with family on the team, with a spouse on the team. Chantal also got to play in the mixed with her mom. A year they won the Quebec Championship, which that would be pretty cool. I was fortunate I got to play with John Morris and myself, and Earl Morris, John's dad, and one of my big influences in my curling life. Earl coached us in juniors and just a fantastic guy, an incredible coach. And my dad, Georgie, we played in the North Bay Jamaica Spiel years ago, and we ran the table and won that event. That was an incredible experience to play with Dad and John and his dad. So Quebec throws one. I think that slipped in top 12 by accident, and then Ontario throwing the corner guard. Now Sylvie looking to guard her first one. Really wants to touch the center line just in case, make it harder. The chases are so much harder now, knowing that and it didn't quite get there. So this one, if we wreck, I know I can chip the guard over and it doesn't have to go back. But if I was playing this shot and it was touching the center line, it becomes a lot scarier. And our minds like to play tricks on us. A lot of mental aspects of this game. So see if Julie McMullen can chase this one, roll away from the center guard, and set her team up for a couple of points here. Al Corbet is the coach of this Ontario team. That's not Julie's best. Got that one outside. Also the husband of Skip, Susan Froud, a military man himself, a really solid curler in his own right. Done a lot of coaching around the world, even coached Team Stern from Switzerland for a short stint. So an unforced error there from Ontario gives Quebec an opportunity here to get one right to the button, buried behind a long guard, and one that's half buried top 12. Marie-Josée with probably the most positive personality of pretty much anybody I've met here this week. She's always smiling. Team Quebec's, their rooms in the hotel are near mine. They've got the Quebec flags hanging on the outside of the door. Love to see that kind of pride for your province. And that is perfect. Give yourself a high five. So Ontario's plans for a deuce are on hold for now. Right now they're thinking, let's open this up so we make sure we don't give up a steal at the moment. So Kristen Turcotte trying to run this long guard into that one top 12. Any kind of contact on the one top 12 is going to be beneficial. This is close. Needs to curl. Not quite. So you can see that the problem is those blue ones are lined up so perfectly straight line. So any kind of run back, they're able to, if this is made well, it's going to be all in a straight line. There's going to be no angle, as we call it. And if you have no angle, you got to hit it really close to the nose. And if you hit it close to the nose, you don't roll off. So the center guard stays. So this is big trouble for Ontario. It's also biting the button, so it's extremely hard to outdraw. So you want this one right on the tip of Mount Everest. You want to be right on the summit of Mount Everest here. Just biting the center line. Don't want to be sliding where this one's sliding. You don't want to get in so close that the double gets easier. So shot rock is well protected. No way to get it, but that's too easy of a double to open it up. We continue to see the miss on draws being heavy. So interesting, something to, I'm going to have to talk to some people at the Everest suite tonight and tell them they must not be listening to my broadcast, or they're not, or they don't trust me. One of the two. Because I'm telling you, you got to stop being heavy. Everybody's being heavy, and they continue to be heavy. Here's a good shot. Going to roll off, make the double. Will that one hang on? No, I think it's going to just slide out. Got two corner guards now, and a bad situation. It's still not awesome, but it's much, much better. And the score of 2 is back to being a possibility. And the steal is looking less likely, more importantly. Still going to guard, though. He's still got one on the top button. Another guard slipping not just into the house, but behind the tee line. So now a chance for Team Ontario. If we can make the hit and roll here, the double will kind of naturally happen. A roll right buried, split those back two, rolling behind your own guard. Great chance here for Kerry Lackey, third for Team Ontario, if they can make this hit and roll anywhere over there. Looks close. No, that needs to curl. Not quite. So Quebec has no choice. They're probably going to want to hit and roll maybe away from that situation. You don't want to keep it there and leave it the same shot twice. Top curlers have a tendency to, if you give it to me twice, I can generally make it twice, kind of like in golf. Golfer B is a better player. If you get to see the putt, odds are higher that you can make the second putt. Although putting's hard. I'm going to make this one curl so it sticks in the rings. I don't know if that's going to hang on. That's a lot of weight for that shot. Going to just roll out. So Susan gets a free come around the corner guard now, or she could hit the back one. Hitting the back one tells me you're trying to blank. Personally, I don't know. I think I like the come around, but taking the hammer to 6, I could be convinced. You could argue that this is a good call. I don't think it's a bad call. If you knew you were going to make the draw, I think that's what you'd play. This one's going to roll towards the guards. Don't want to roll buried here. Okay. So somebody's probably going to score here. Blank's less likely now. So see if Chantel can take advantage of one behind the tee line. Ontario and Susan Froud was not able to last end when Chantal slipped behind the tee line on her last shot. The good news for Team Ontario is that even if Chantal makes the freeze back there, it will be obviously behind the tee line, so there will be a spot where Susan Froud can draw around buried in front of the tee line and still be shot and give herself a great chance at a 2-ender. Line looks like it needs to curl, and that's probably because it's heavy. This one needs to slow down to stay shot raw. And a big miss there from Chantal Osborne, and what an opportunity for Ontario. Thinking about playing a split to lie 3, I don't mind that at all. The draw makes sense too. The split makes a lot of sense because if you play the draw and you're, I mean, clearly if you're behind T-line, that's bad. Chantal's probably going to make good on her second chance. But if you leave this one, say you're like kind of just biting top 8 foot, half buried, Chantal might choose to draw around it, kind of back to your back one and take the end away. If you make the split, you're going to have an open shot for multiple points. If you make this one perfect, Chantal's going to have to play a much more difficult shot, but she's going to have to play some kind of freeze or draw because there won't be a hit. She could play a run back, I guess, but unlikely. See if Susan can pinpoint it. The draw weight's been a bit elusive today for both teams. Both teams with quite a bit of time left. I don't see that being a big challenge, but it's easy to burn through a couple of minutes. Kind of out of nowhere in a complicated end. Another one where they're thinking it's heavy. So Julie wondering if it needs to curl. This is behind the tee line. Buried, but you can see the challenge. If Chantal can make that exact same shot Susan just made, and Ontario will probably just have to draw for one. They could take on, there's going to have something, unless she makes it dead perfect frozen on the nose. If they wanted to get frisky, they could play a run back. That corner guard, the wider one, would have some angle. Intern angle raise, call that the Johnny Epping. Used to, I don't know if he's making them anymore. Let's see if Chantal can make that adjustment. She was quite heavy on her last one. Tendency would be to overcorrect. That one did look a lot lighter. Seems much wider than Susan's was. With the right weight, I think it will curl, but this has to curl, and I don't think it's light. Oh, so this is going to bounce off, I think. Weight is good enough if she had the line. So close, but very similar shot for 3 that was easier than the one Chantal had, at least the way Chantal made it last end. So just got to get to the nose, even a little bit high. Should chip off the yellow and still go hack weight. And they are trading threes like candy on Halloween. See the view that Susan will have from the hack. It's kind of what we would call edge on edge. You can see it all, but there's not a lot of air, but it doesn't matter. You don't want to get anywhere near that guard, really. If you're close to that guard, you're going to probably hit the yellow one. You see Coach Al Corbet back behind the glass there. She took a good throw, so just a matter of if she threw the right weight. Oh boy, really got a curl here. Don't think it's 3 for sure. Will it hold on for 2? It does. And a score of 2, and Ontario takes the lead back, 6-5, and we are heading to the 5th end in a bit of a wild one, folks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
At every OK Tire store, you'll find a local owner who lives in your community, proudly offering full auto service. And when you shop with us, you're shopping local. OK Tire. Service, repair, and tires. It's going to be okay.
I love that curling is a team sport, that we're able to travel the world with friends and family and experience the journey with fans as well. The sport demands so much, whether it's fine motor skills or both physically and mentally taxing. And it's just a fun social sport that you're able to kind of make an extended family all over the world.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
So an interesting setup to this end so far. This looks like a good shot. Oh, just going to go through the hole, though. Unlucky. A good start so far for Ontario. But still lots of opportunity, not even halfway through the end here. So Quebec still lots of chances here with two very usable guards. Both yellow Ontario Stones are behind the tee line. The pressure is on. We've got a couple of Canadian curling legends watching right now. We've got Louis Biron and Dan Westfall. The only one missing would be Dan Lemery. They were watching last year. Shout out to those guys. Looks like they're in somewhere that has a Coors Light picture on the wall, so I'm going to say that's a bar. Good looking shot here from Kristen. Wants to just put this right in the middle of that hole, guard the back one. Quebec's got some work to do. How do we get out of this? How do we open this up to leave Chantal or skip at least a shot for one? Steal here would be quite unfortunate for Quebec. I think she might be able to squeeze through there, and she might be right. It's gonna be, I think a lot of times it's going to stay right there. Got to just get by the blue one and hit that yellow one as thin as you can off the back of the blue. And oh, this one's going to be into the blue. Won't be, not going to make a run back and a stick there. And this is getting complicated for Quebec. That lined up pretty good, though. That there's a triple peel there now. Problem is Ontario's going to put another one in the way here. So where do we want this one? She's probably in the rings, I believe, which is fine. A guard is also fine. I kind of like a guard beside those blue ones. Or you could come right into the 4-foot too. It's on a really good line to come into the 4-foot. If you're coming in, you want to bury it. Need some curl out of this one. Gonna keep it going, keep it alive. Pretty good shot. Because it's in the rings and it's open, though, I think Quebec wants to chase this and stick around. Once they get one in the house, they're at least going to... You know, she's going to make the peel here, but I don't think this solves her problem. And she doesn't want to hit it on that side, the broom side here. I think this might be a bit of a mistake. If you make this triple peel, if you don't make any noise on that one top 8, they're going to be able to guard that, and how are you ever going to get shot rock? Oh, Joe's got this one wide. And this is getting to be a really bad situation for Quebec. The only saving grace right now, I mean, this is really starting to look like a steal, is that open back 8 one, if you're to nose it, you cut them down to 1. So Karilaki just needs to throw a halfway center guard. Just discussing the ice. Want to make sure they get this on the right line. You can see the update next to us. Alberta ladies playing BC. Alberta's undefeated. 5-3 Alberta at this point, playing the 6, so a tight game. I noticed we're down a player. Team Manitoba's down a player. Lott is sick. I hope he's okay. Line is good here. So Quebec, what are we going to do here to get out of this? There is a quadruple peel if you could bring somebody that can throw it 100 miles an hour. double peel the yellows for sure. That'll be helpful. And then those blues would kind of line up on that top yellow. I think I like that. Yeah, I think this is a good call. 2/3, half rock. Something like that. Oh, 2/3, half's no good. And you can see those blues that are frozen would angle into the top yellow one at least. This one's floating too. I think we got another. It's gonna be too thin. I'm gonna get a piece of it, but I'm not gonna make the double. If you're Ontario, you're starting to think, how do we get another one in there? You can see the rock I'm talking about, that one that's back 8 foot on the left hand of your screen there. That's, I know you're lying 3 Ontario, but all Chantal would have to do to cut you down to 1 would be hit that one. Just nose it or roll a little bit inside. So I would love to find a way, if I'm going to get another one in there. Maybe the in-turn draw. Quebec doesn't have a shot to get shot rock. So a wide in-turn draw right to the tee line would be, that's how you put maximum pressure on Quebec. I'm not entirely sure what they're guarding here. I guess they're guarding Chantal hitting that top 8 one and opening up shot rock. So that's what they're guarding. I can change my mind. I know what they're guarding. So it'll be interesting to see if Quebec, if Chantal decides, okay, we're in big, big trouble here. I don't see how a hit's really going to solve our problem. Maybe she throws the out-turn draw to try and put it in a spot where they could raise it with their next one or something, but this one might not quite go enough. So there is a hole there, but does it get you anything good? Took away that kind of, I think this is a good call. I don't see any hits that really help you. Timeout, they want to think about it. I think we'll see Joel Sabourin come out and talk it over with the team. There's no hit I can see where that one back button isn't there anymore when we're done. If we peel, they may draw one in here if we don't get all the guards off, which is very hard, so maybe we beat them in there. Even if we get second shot. So I think right now they'd be pretty happy to give up a steal of 1. Very makeable to peel the 2 blues and the center line, the yellow one on the center line. But if you do that, nothing in the house moves. And Susan can just throw any kind of guard, and you'd have to draw the side of the button. And she may decide she's going to beat you there again because you won't open up shot rock, so if she made a good guard or a good draw, you're going to be throwing against 4, and any little mistake could be a 2 or a 3 steal. So not a good situation, but one great shot away from saving the day. She could get shot rock here. It's possible to draw the button here on this line with how this ice curls. So if Chantal can give the sweepers a good throw here and a good chance, get it on the right line with the speed that they can work with, and the sweepers make the right choices, could make this shot and get shot rock. And then I think you'd see Susan try and whip one through that hole there, and if it's possible, depending on where this gets, I guess it could get right to frozen, and then that wouldn't be there. So key shot of the game so far. If we're short or deep here, like if you don't get second shot, it's time to throw out the Mayday signal. think this will curl a lot out here. Oh, needs to curl. Line's getting good. Needs to curl still, but it is walking over. Needs to curl, needs to slow down. What a shot. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Chantel Osborne saving the day, at least momentarily, for the team Quebec. You can see she got by the guard by a lot. If that curls a little more, she's frozen right on the button. So see if Susan can answer here. It's absolutely possible for her to throw back 4-foot wake, get by the guard fairly tight, and bump this back. And then Quebec would have really no shot to score for sure. So they like it, but this one needs to curl. Will it get there? I don't think she's quite heavy enough. And Quebec fans, breathe in. You're going to score this end. Quickly get down there and throw this one away. Or does she think she can draw in? She probably can. This would be one of the best scores of two. Best skips deuces you'd ever see in your life. And this would feel like, for Ontario, this would feel like they gave up 6. They had they had Quebec just dead to rights the entire end. I think that guard, in the post-game debrief, I think Al might talk to them about the guard they threw on Susan's first. What are we guarding there? What if they had to put one where Chantel did? What was Chantel's next shot? Can she do it again? Exactly the same thing she just did on the other side. A little bit too much room. Oh, starting to curl. If the weight's good, this will get close to the right line, but I think it's heavy the way it's not curling. Yeah, I just overthrew it a bit, but that's a victory for Quebec in my books. That's a big score of 1. A great first shot from Chantel Osborne. Game saver, really. And we've got a tie game. Kind of fitting so far. We've had a real tight game here. We're going to go 6-6 to the 7th end. We'll be back right after a short break.
Curling means so much to our family. Obviously, it's a big part of our life. Isabella always says that she wants to be an Olympic champion curler when she grows up, which just melts my heart. But it also has shown them that if you work hard, anything is possible. If I was to ask them if they wanted to chase a dream, they believe that anything is possible as long as they put the work in, and it's because of watching us on the ice.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
Welcome back to the exciting action here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a wild one on our hands. 6-6 playing the 7th end. Undefeated Quebec against 2-1 Ontario. Top 2 teams in the pool early on. Need this one to stop, and it's not going to. And you can see Sylvie's disappointment there, but so Ontario would really like to blank this end. Gonna hit and roll away, and I think Ontario, or sorry, Quebec's going to have to throw a guard. Can't just give them the free end to blank. I shouldn't say they can't. I don't think they will, but tied up without coming home. Ice that's curling this much. No tick rule. I'm going to make up some more analytics today because that's what I do. I'm going to say it's 70-30 with the hammer, 60-40 even. It's totally made up. I already told you that, but it is totally made up. But that's just my gut feeling. I think stealing is relatively off. You can do it relatively often tied up. But I still think this is the play. You can't just give them a free go at it. Makes good on this one. Touching the center line. That one cannot be moved off the center line. So Julie McMullen being asked to just come down and freeze on that, maybe bump it a rock or two. Want to keep these in line. This gets to be trouble when you over curl, freeze on yours, kind of on half of it, and then they come around everything. I think it was 2004 Brier final. Team Furby gave up 3 that way to lose the game. And one of those crazy Brier kind of miracle finishes. Totally dominated the entire game, and I think Team Basie got a 3-8, forced to 1-9, and took 3-10 to win the Brier. I'd almost feel sad for Randy and those guys if they didn't win so many other Briers. So Ontario lying 2, but a good chance to kind of get a freeze into a bit of a pocket here for Marie-Josée. Even if you bump that one a little bit, don't want to wreck on the guard. Gonna have to go to get this by the guard, folks. Needs to get by the guard. Working it. I think we're on the guard. Weight was pretty good too. So I think this Ontario hit the one in the house and roll in. Deciding to draw, nothing wrong with that. Deciding, you know what, doesn't look like a blank. So let's try and get 2 or 3. And it's amazing how often that happens. You know, you're tied, time out. Oh. I don't know if that was called by Al, the coach. I've never been I don't know if I should say I've never been a fan. I don't know how I feel about the coach being able to call a timeout in curling. I know what happens in all the other sports, but curling, it seems to me it should be called by the team. But with that in mind, our game is never really, in most circumstances, not really totally utilized the coach either. They definitely don't have the same amount of power as they would in other sports. Mostly they have their roles, but they're not really running the team, let's say. Wish we could hear Al. I mean, I like the hit because it does keep the blank alive. If you draw now and leave that one top 12, blank's gone, which is fine. I don't like peeling the guard. If they're talking about that, I think that's I don't think that's a good call. Your second's first shot here, so there's lots of time left in the game. I don't hate the freeze. So yeah, the two shots in my mind are the freeze, draw down to the buried rock, and even bump it up a rock or two if you can get to the nose. That would be great, right there. or you're hitting and rolling on the blue one. So this is their original call. They've talked it through and decided this is the best bet here. So Kristen Turcotte going to be tasked with drawing this. You want about top 8 foot weight right there. If at the end you could bump it, I think they'd be okay with that. If they don't bump it, but you get the line, they're okay with that as well. So really important to get this on the right line. And the best way to do that is to throw the right weight. Not a brush stroke from the sweepers. Must be a little bit heavy. It's quite a bit heavy. Okay. It's not great. Now you gotta leave them a double and roll. You can double and roll, just kind of splitting the center line. It'd be a really good spot. Hard for Ontario to remove, and a very valuable spot for Quebec to bump up later in the end. And they bumped theirs, but they bumped it open. So not exactly what they wanted, close. But a chance here for Quebec to clean up a little granite and get their rock in a really good spot. This looks pretty good. Actually overswept it and missed the double. Oh, unfortunate. But there is a double on those yellows, so how do they take that away? You can see the blank end's gone. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I know that. Mind you, when I say I know something, commentating, and I know something's not going to happen. It almost always does. That's why we love watching the great sport of curling. Is lots of different things happen. No end is ever quite the same as the next. That's why when we talk strategy to people, quite often at the clinics, Jennifer and I do, and people want to know, what do I do in this situation? And then you talk it through and explain why you like this or that, and then I say, okay, next time I'll remember that. And it's like, well, odds are you'll never be in that exact situation again. And that's a big over curl, and here's a big opportunity for Quebec. You can draw right in there, bump this one back and roll under. They've got staggered center guards all of a sudden. I know the second one's in the house, but that's acting as a guard. See if Marie-Josée can come up with a big shot for her team. Just don't want to overthrow this one. If you don't kill the yellow one, so what? It'd be great to bump it out of the 8 foot, but most important is get that shooter buried. And if you overthrow it, it won't curl enough. This isn't very close. Really got to curl this one. Maybe bump this to the back button. Needs that to get outside of the top 8 foot one. I don't know whose third shot, but here's what I do think. Somebody is going to get to the button, and whoever does is going to score this end. I think I like the draw here if you're Ontario. Hit and roll is fine. There's the overhead. It's going to roll right to the button, so a freeze is made really tough to do. Somebody's going to make that draw, so why not you? You're already shot. They might be hitting live 3 here, though, so that's probably what she's thinking, but this is a dangerous situation here for Ontario. I mean, it's hard to make a perfect roll. So I think Chantel should ignore this and just draw, even if you're back 4. Nothing wrong with the hit and roll again. It's just harder, I think. But there is a wall to roll behind. Roll anywhere in the 4 foot here, and it's going to be pretty buried. And this is in a spot where the roll will be right to the top of the 4 foot. So She'll say a big shot here. Looking for curl again, and this doesn't have a chance. It's just not where they wanted it. Maybe make this double. She did. Okay. So Ontario's only lying 1. Somebody's going to get to the top 4-foot or button buried here. So Carrie Lackey being asked by Skip Susan Fred. Okay, let's Carrie draw one. This one doesn't have to be buried. It just has to be a little bit buried. Top 4-foot, no deeper than that. Can't be to the button. Definitely can't be behind the tee line. Line looks pretty good. Should finish hard. Uh-oh. This is too hard. Somebody's got to miss one short just to see what it feels like. That is not what they wanted. Pressure on Chantal here, but I don't think I have to explain it to anybody how much trouble Ontario would be in if she makes this draw. That would have been useful for Ontario anywhere short in terms of top part of the rings. They'd rather not have that one there than have it there. But Chantal has to make a good draw here. I mean, she has to draw the 4-foot. If she misses the 4-foot, Ontario will still be lying 2 shooting. So let's see what the Team Quebec skip. And she comes through with another big draw for her team. Last end, she had a fantastic in-turn draw to save the day. Can she do it again? If she makes this, they have a good chance of being up 1 coming home. It looks a little tight to me. I think line's tight. Really got to go to get this by the yellow one in the house. Can't stop. Oh, it just wrecks. Looked tight to me out of Chantal's hand, and nobody really picked up on it. Ontario dodges a bullet momentarily anyway. Can't leave that blue one there, Susan. I get what you're thinking. The draw is easier, but this one, you just nose that or roll a little bit inside, and Quebec is in all kinds of trouble. So a nose hit here is pretty good. The perfect shot would be just to roll a couple of inches in there. You don't want to roll too far though. That will just open up the same shot for Chantal, and I don't imagine she'll miss it again. She had perfect weight there. Just the line was a little bit tighter than they picked up on, and just rubbed the top yellow one. So if you nose it, the question becomes, how does Quebec get in there? And the answer is, I don't think they do. There's room to roll a rock towards center line. You don't want to roll any farther than that. So this has to be made well. This has to curl to not jam it. Well, I think she's going to be okay. Just. So, Quebec fans, how do we get one in there? Just make the double. Since she wrecked on that last one, though, that top 8 one, if you make the double here, they're still going to be lying 2, I think. Didn't notice that until now. So this is, I don't see a lot else, though. could hit, I know you can only see a couple inches of it, but you could hit that, as we're looking at it from the hack, out turn, hit the quarter stone you can see and jam it on the one top 4-foot. You might even get the back one. You might end up shot. Man, is that a hard shot. So I think she's just trying to make a double here. It's close. Really close. Great shot by Chantal. And you can see, though, I think yellow is second shot. I shouldn't say that so confidently because I really have no idea. Regardless, it doesn't change your shot. If you're Ontario, you throw this draw through the hole and then you measure. But because Chantal made that so good, it's still a tricky draw. So, big time shot here for Susan. Draw the 8-foot, full 8-foot for 2, maybe 3. And a commanding lead coming home in the last end. Got to make this one. That one looks to me like it's going to curl too, but tracking early. I think the line's pretty good. Line's very good. Just comes down to speed now, and that also looks good. Great shot from Susan. Well swept, well judged. So at least 2 points for Ontario, and I think we're going to see a measure for the third. But Ontario's going to be up at least 2 points. Depending on how this measure goes, nobody seems to know. That third point would be massive, though. So we'll keep it here, but I will be back after a short break. Just waiting for the official. The officials do all of the measurements. On tour, all the bonspiels, the players do all the measurements. But at Curling Canada events, the officials do them. The downside to that, the upside is the players don't have to do much. The downside is if the official makes a mistake, which has happened. It happened last year in the semifinals of this event. That neither team can be at fault, so it just ends up being a tie. The original pointed to red or blue in Quebec, so it's just 2 for Ontario. A sigh of relief for Quebec, but still some work to do in the last end as we come back in a minute or two for the last end action, 8th end action, Ontario versus Quebec from the Everest Senior Curling Championships. We'll be right back. We're back. If you like curling, you got to be enjoying this game. There have been some unforced errors, no doubt, but that's sometimes what makes a game more interesting. To watch it on TV, there's not as many misses as there used to be. Curling used to be a game of misses. Now it's more of a bit of a high-level just execution contest. But have been some uncharacteristic misses here, but 8-6 Ontario, last end. Ontario trying to bring Quebec back down to the field. Quebec, the only undefeated team in this pool. This one sounds heavy. So not an ideal start for Ontario. You don't want to bump that behind the tee line like they did, and that one top 12 in the Okanagan is can be used as a guard later. So important here when you're trying to score multiple points. It's so important to get one in there that the other team can't take out. I know that sounds stupid and simple. That doesn't make it wrong. Switching calls here, trying to hold this one. Sylvie's got this one wide and heavy, but pretty good angle and line for this freeze. Nothing wrong with that. Hello. Accidentally perfect. So there's one in there that they can't take out. They're going to try and deal with it. Susan Proud asking Kristen Turcotte to hit this one right on the nose, kill the backing. That back yellow one's hurting Ontario, and stay right on top of it. Needs to be right on the nose, however. Needs to finish up here, but it's close. Roll off just ever so slightly, and I think if I'm Quebec, I go around the corner guard. Yeah. Chantel knows the game well. Has played a lot, been around for a long time, and learned from some of the best. If Dave Merklinger is listening, I'm not talking about you, Merk. So we'll see if Quebec can get one buried behind this corner guard. That's why they threw it. They wanted to get one in behind it. So Marie Chaussee has that task, and she's got it on a good line, but this looks fairly heavy to me. Don't want to slide back where there's a double on the Blues. Needs to stop or go farther. Farther. Okay, so there is a double, but it's steep, and the next shot for Quebec's going to be a come around that corner guard again. Not trying the double. Maybe doesn't want to roll behind the corner. It's the challenge here is to make this. I think you have to play the double, because a hit and roll, you might leave a double right back. So, and Quebec is third shot. That's important. They stayed there. But if you flip that around, if that's top 8 on that line, Ontario's in some trouble. '90 Scotties champion Kristen Turcotte. This is really curling. She's almost on her own. She did touch her own. And that is a big break for Quebec. I think they're shot rock, and now all of a sudden they're going around the corner guard to set up a 3 and maybe win the game here. They were not panicked on that hit. They didn't sweep it for most of the first part of the sheet, and then all of a sudden they realized they had a problem. Just ticked shot rock, which always puts a ton of spin on the shooter. And it spun just far enough to leave Quebec shot and shooting. British Columbia on the ladies' side took 2 and 6 and stole 1 and 7, and they're up 1 coming home on Alberta in a battle of the front runners in the other pool. Again, the line is good, but It looks a little bit heavy. Needs to slow down. Pretty good. Ontario didn't want to get into having to freeze behind a corner guard against 3. They're only lying 2. I mean against the 3-ender. Okay. Peel knowing there's a very makeable double. Okay. So you peel. What's Quebec going to do? Quebec's going to guard it probably. You're going to peel again. Eventually you're going to have to make that freeze. And if you leave it too late, you only have 1 chance. If you miss it, you lose. If you miss it now, it's not good. Don't get me wrong. But there's still more rocks to come. So there's nothing wrong with this play, though. Important to make it. It's pretty good. Well done, Kerry Lackey. These are simple shots for the most part, but doesn't make them any less important. So they are going to throw the guard here. Speaking of, people think guards are simple, but they're really not. They're as precise as a come around. You have to match the line and weight. It's not as simple as just throwing this just over the hog line, because then they'll be able to chase it. That looks tight. I think they got a problem here on line. They need to be sweeping this one into the house. We got a real problem on line here. Very heads up to sweep that one in for. It's out counting those other yellows. That's an unforced error, but a heads up catch by Chantal, Sylvie, and Mary Jose, and probably Jose herself, saying, I got that inside, ladies. We got to go here. And now the double is there. But anything on the broom side is going to jam and roll away. You don't want to jam it and roll right to the broom. You'll leave a double back to lie 3. That would be worst case scenario. This is getting very tight. Maybe the slip tricky triple. Oh, and that is worst case scenario for Ontario. Well, now Quebec drawing to lie 3 late in the end, and Susan Froud's going to have to make something happen here to save this game. So a big draw here. See what Jose can come up with. Jose, I can try your La Friolet. I don't know if I butchered that or not. Works for the liquor board in Quebec. Always wanted to play in the Scotties, hasn't been there yet. This one's over, curling badly. And again, trading opportunity after opportunity. That didn't even need to be buried, it just needed to be in the 8 foot. Susan's going to take on the hit on the back one. Could try the double. Would be more than happy to go extra end at this point.
Evidently. Oh, well, hopefully he's better. We're going to check out him right now. We called our 5th man's coming in. Flying in. Okay. Yeah.
So going after the back one makes sense. Like I said, this is kind of defense now. If they give up 2, they give up 2. want to stick around. They've rolled too far. That's a lot of weight to throw on that shot again. So, opportunity for the 2 points in the tie game still for sure. If she can get this buried, Susan will hit the open one. But there is a possible jam. Anything on the high side would be fine. Starting to look a lot like an extra end, which would probably be fitting. Speaking of extra end, Alberta and BC are going extra end next door. 6-6, BC with the hammer. That's on the ladies' side as well, so a tight fought battle there. BC clawing their way back. Alberta started the game with 3 in the first. So need a piece of the 8-foot here. They picked it up right away. The line is getting very tight. I think this is light. Really got to go. Can they get it there? What a great sweep by the whole Quebec team, and they do get it there. Is there a double for Susan? I think there might be. But does it jam? Be careful. If you miss this thin and jam it over there, you've lost the game. I don't know why they don't just hit the open one. Not sure what Al has to say, but it looks to me like if you hit that wide one high, even on the nose, you're gonna go extra. I think there is a double there, but it brings in wrecking on the top yellow one into play, and if you hit it too thin and jam it, you're gonna lose the game. So a fantastic sweep by Team Quebec to get that there. I didn't think they were gonna get that there. That's the one I think they're going to end up hitting. Oh, wow. That way. Like, I don't... Holy smokes. So playing it this way, which there's room to hit this as long as they don't hit 7/8 of it. If you hit 7/8, you're going to give them an open hit for the win. But half, third, even a quarter, I think, still goes out. And you could make this roll. You could roll this right behind this shot rock and make it really difficult on Quebec. That's probably what they're thinking. So not a lot different than hitting it on the high side. This one looks a lot easier to jam to me, because this will curl. They're not taking very much ice. Holy smokes. Oh boy, is this close to jamming. So good shot. Wasn't far off jamming, but that's a good shot. But an open hit nonetheless. A hit and stay for Chantal to take this game extra ends. Who wouldn't want more of this action? What a game this has been at the Everest Senior Curling Championships here in Vernon, BC, the Vernon Curling Club. It's been a great event so far, and we're just getting going. I'm sure you're all sick of hearing me. Good news is my reinforcements are coming today, I understand. She may even be in the air. Jennifer will be here tonight, I believe. And I will be able to, I'll have somebody to talk to instead of just talking to myself. But the downside of that is I won't always be right anymore. Somebody will be here to tell me when I screw up, and that's often. So good news is she's nice about it. a simple shot here, but requires some focus. No problem here for Chantel. We're going extra ends, folks. Why wouldn't we? 8-8 after 8. Free bonus action right after the break. We'll have the 9th end and find out who's going to win this wild one.
At every OK Tire store, you'll find a local owner who lives in your community, proudly offering full auto service. And when you shop with us, you're shopping local. OK Tire. Service, repair, and tires. It's going to be okay.
Curling means so much to our family. Obviously, it's a big part of our life. Isabella always says that she wants to be an Olympic champion curler when she grows up, which just melts my heart. But it also has shown them that if you work hard, anything is possible. If I was to ask them if they wanted to chase a dream, they believe that anything is possible as long as they put the work in, and it's because of watching us on the ice.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
We're back here, folks. Bonus action from the Everest Senior Curling Championships. Team Quebec and Team Ontario trading opportunities, trading breaks. Lots of great shots, but lots of unforced errors in a wild one. So Ontario has the hammer in the last end, and the pressure is on all 8 curlers on the ice here. A big win available to the team who wins this end. So Sylvie Danielle, the lead for Team Quebec, will be asked to hit the center line and the free guard zone. Probably want this one. Generally easier to throw the high one first, but I don't know. Personal preference. But here it comes. If you knew you were going to win these tight games, you'd want them all to be close because you get comfortable being uncomfortable. Get comfortable with the pressure and the tension and the big moments. This looks really good. Sit on the line. Did stop on the line, so that's a good start. So now if you're Julie McMullen, Team Ontario, they're going to open side. I don't understand this. I guess the theory is anything we put in the middle can be bumped back and used against us, but I mean, Quebec's going to throw another center guard, and then what are you going to do? You're going to go, maybe she'll go around it at that point. My thought is I like going, beating them in there. Just putting one top 4, I don't even care if it's buried. Something we can use, something they have to deal with. This one might be your winner, don't get me wrong, it could be. Counts just as much as one on the button, but not applying any pressure to Quebec at all. If this guard is made, I will be very interested to see what Ontario does next. So Sylvie wants the same throw, just needs to add 6 feet of weight. The line's fine. Let's not panic sweep this one. It doesn't look light to me. In the biggest moments, it's easy to get cranked up and overreact and make emotional decisions. We've all done it. This is a good shot. I don't know that it's going to get to the center line. They're trying. Speed's perfect, though. So that is tickable if they want. So now they're going to go around. So I don't know why we went open side to start with. Maybe hoping that second one would slip into the rings and then you'd be happy you won in the forefoot. I get it. So Julie wants this one buried, full top forefoot. Has to be in the forefoot. Can't be top 8, top 12, or else it's another guard, and cannot be behind the tee line, or else it's working against Team Ontario. This is tight, tight, tight. Cannot wreck on this guard. Can't chip this guard off the center line. I think they're by. This looks awfully close to back button. Okay. Not bad, not great. Over curled is the biggest concern. So here we go, Quebec. Second, Marie-Josée will be asked to draw one right to the button. If she froze on that one, that would be pretty good. She could follow Julie down and just kind of sit right on the corner. That would be very nice. We know that Ontario next is going to start ripping those guards, or at least try to. This one looks like it's on a tight line too. If this needs to go, line's good if it's there. I don't think you need to worry about switching. You just need to get it there. This is a good looking curling shot. A little bit light maybe, but that is a good shot. And we've got action. There is a triple on the Blues. Kristen Turcotte, the top one, across the top of the second guard, straight back. Doesn't even want to take it on though. She switched to the intern to just throw the straight peel. Okay, I don't know why you wouldn't at least throw the turn that you could make it. This is curling. Gotta sweep this one to get this one to roll off. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now things get really interesting. So just a little bump back probably. Could bump it on the nose and move that yellow, and could bump it high and keep them lined up. That's probably the best result, about 3/4, and just bump that yellow, the blue one into the yellow, move the yellow in like a rock just behind the tee line if you were getting really picky. Similar throw from Marie-Josée, just needs a little bit more weight, but can't throw it a lot harder, that so much so that it really affects the line. This is tight. Isn't this tight? This is perfect. Pretty good. Actually over curled a little bit. They can make the double on those two, but bump the yellow into a good spot, and the double here, the shooter rolls away, and you still have your two guards. So still anybody's ball game here. Kristen needs to make this double. Sounds like they like it, but it's a little bit thin. Oh, jams it. Just missed the sweep call a little bit there. A good throw and a very unfortunate result there for Team Ontario. And now if you're Team Quebec, you are in the driver's seat. Need a good guard here. Don't want to put this somewhere where it's easy to double peel, but there's 3 guards, so probably just want this, I don't know, somewhere halfway near the Everest logo. Even tight is fine. Most important is you gotta guard that, and you can't be in the rings here. Isaiah's had a bit of a case of the overthrows, the heavies. This looks like it's quite heavy. Oh boy. That is just not, that's just not a good shot. She won't be happy with that one. Whoa. Aren't you trying to make the double here? Coach Al standing up back there as if he's going to call a timeout. Or he's just pacing like any good coach would. You have to try and make this double. It's a hard one to stick, but I mean, even if you just get by the higher one and make the double and bump that other one open, well into the open out of the 4-foot, that would be good. I they talking about bumping it just to the back of the forefoot? I don't know. I don't understand that. If you have the hammer in the extra end, you want nothing in the back of the forefoot. You want nothing in the forefoot, period. You want the forefoot to be wide open for your last shot. So let's see what they've come up with here. Touching her heel, which is usually lighter weight like a hacker board. So not trying the double. Did I hear back line? Tension is mounting. The pressure is mounting. These are always fun situations to play in. Oh, she's throwing, looks like back line or something. I think this plays into Quebec's favor a little bit. Good looking shot though. I'm gonna make exactly what she called. Not shot rock, and I don't know what Quebec's gonna do here. Maybe just bump that yellow one back. Maybe bump it back and roll a little bit under. Bump it in behind your other one, back forefoot. Get your shooter under the guard. So back line. I like throwing this a little bit lighter and trying to get low. This is fine though. I mean, this is really tight. This is going to be all over the guard. Two unfortunate results here for Jose Friolet this end. And the tide has totally turned in this end. Now Ontario can hit shot rock, stay right there. There is still a guard, but Quebec, if I'm Quebec, I'm starting to think, okay, how do we end up lying two here at the very least? We might not be able to get one buried for shot, but how do we have to at least make her hit and stay against two? She's okay here. So what do we play here, Quebec? Hit and roll on top? Do you just play that back line on shot rock and roll? You won't be shot, but roll behind the guard. That would be good. That would be a good shot. You'd lie second, third, and fourth. And it would be very difficult for Ontario to get you out. And if they were to peel, then you would just hit the other one and roll right beside yours, and she wouldn't be able to nose either one. So very difficult. Probably have to make a double to win. So I think that's what she's playing. So here it comes, looking wide and heavy early. I don't think this is going to even hit the right rock. Maybe you can get to bump this one back and roll on top. That would be a good option B. I think she's done it. Okay, got to get that one out further. Okay. Interesting. I don't think that was the call. Maybe I missed it. Okay. Playing the freeze, which is fine if you're right on the nose, but anything just off here, and Quebec's going to be able to hit and lie 3. But what else do you do here? If you guard it, Quebec has the run back, but if they make it, you're going to have to draw the 4-foot. I mean, a fantastic shot here. If you come down, bump it just a rock and a half or a rock to the top of the button, and stay on half of the top blue one, and they would have no way to get it out. So I think maybe this is the right call. Draw one in there somewhere. Try and keep it right on the nose. Quebec will hit it, but will have to be forced to leave yours there, and you'll have some kind of similar shot to win. Don't want to freeze on the corner, though. This needs to curl. Don't want to freeze on the corner. Okay. I don't think that's going to be great. Right on the nose. Even a hair centerline side. With some speed, or do you just play it softly? You can't be playing a draw here, can you, Chantel? I know you've made some great draws, but you have to hit that. Yeah, even if you hit it, stay right on the nose, and it just rolls. The yellow one rolls off of the blue. The blue will be shot, and Ontario will have to make a bump to the 4-foot to win. You got to make her shoot here, and even if you jam it, then you're going to leave her a pretty easy shot, the same one you've got here. But that's got to be the play here. Right on the nose of that yellow one, a little bit across it, normal weight. Shooter stays right there. Yellow one spills off. Blue one bites the top 4-foot for shot. If yellow one goes far enough doesn't go, it's probably not going to go far enough to leave you lying 2, but so what? She's either going to have to make a double, or she's going to have to draw the 4-foot. Right on the nose. The yellow one will spill off the blue so that the same shot won't be there. It might sit in a spot right beside it where it makes the double difficult. She'll have to play a bump to the 4-foot. Not sure what Joelle is saying, but obviously they're in a timeout, as you can see. It looks like they found it. I mean, it's... The draw she talked about is a great shot, but man, is it hard. And if it make it perfect, then they just kind of got a bump here. And yours is going to be behind this yellow, so I really think this is the shot here, right on the nose. If you want to hit it right on the nose with peel weight, if you're comfortable with that, that would be great. But it's probably not going to spill out of the 8-foot anyway, so you're probably just going to lie 1. So here we go, folks. We're down to the last 2 skip stones. This is game 4 of a 6-game initial round robin for both of these teams. I would definitely expect both of these teams to be into the next round, but you take your record with you, so every win is huge. Can Chantel hit this right on the nose? It's close. Really got to go here. This is over curling a bit. Got to hold it. Really got to hold it. Got to touch that second one. Okay, so she did lie too. That's the good news. Just the shooter rolled a little bit too far. So an open hit for Susan to win the game here for Ontario. There's nothing to discuss here. Just didn't want to be rushed. Pick your favorite weight, probably board or control. So close for Quebec. That one just over curled by an inch. If that rock sits even a piece in front of this one, then she has to play the draw to the 4-foot, and that's never a gimme. So one way or the other, this is the last shot of this game. Hit and stay, Ontario wins. Hit and roll out, Quebec wins. Place your bets. A little light is good news for Ontario. I think it's just clean you're looking for. There's no trouble here. And a fantastic game, and that's a win for Team Ontario over Team Quebec. I'm Brent Lang signing off from the Everest Senior Curling Championships here in Vernon, BC. I will be back at 2 o'clock BC time, 5 o'clock Eastern, for the next action. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or